Y'all, welcome back to another episode of Herbal Tea Thursday.
Thursday. That's all you got.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Let me finish.
Keep the choreography going.
Thursday.
Yeah, it's your Healthy Habits and Lifestyle Coach Giovanni, host of the Empire Plates, Empire Lies podcast with my girl, Shari.
Hey, everyone. It is me from Voices and Vibez, Perspective Studio Production, Black Print, all the things, baby, all the things. We here.
And
Ready.
y'all,
Ready.
welcome to another episode. So, Shireen, I need to get my coconut water. I'll probably get my coconut water. What you drinking? What you sipping on? Sipping on?
Water. Aqua.
Okay, got your water. Okay. Y'all, welcome. Let us know what you sipping on, because it's Herbal Tea Thursday in the comments. Let us know what you sipping on. You ready to check us in, Shireen?
I am. Already pulled our card.
Okay, go ahead.
And it's funny because it's always on time. One self-care practice you would like to start.
And here we go into this episode. And the episode today is called How Do You Create a Routine? And we're talking about we're kind of taking off what we talked about last week in regards to like what do we want to improve on. And now we're being really purposeful on the self-care aspect and how we're planning to insert that into our routine. So one thing that I know I would like to do a little bit better is to improve how I care for my body. And one of those ways, I kind of mentioned it last week, was strength training. And another one is really making sure I'm getting in my nutrients as much as possible. Right. And so that is something I really want to continue to do in regards to my self-care. Shireen, what you got?
I'm not good at resting. And so I want to become better at taking a rest, because I think I'm realizing I'm tired, and that's why my productivity seems to be slowing down. But I don't always, I'm like the baby that's like fighting their sleep. Feel like they're going to miss out. I don't feel like I'm going to miss out, but I feel like I should be doing stuff. So I'm not getting the proper sleep. And it's probably like going over and over and over to the next week. And like, I think yesterday I was just like completely lethargic. And one of the things that I'd like to get better with is resting appropriately and not feeling guilty because I took a rest. Because even if I do rest, I feel really horrible. And then the other thing, which is the discussion we're going to talk about, is creating a routine that will help me get better at the things that I need to do. So in the morning and the evening. So we're going to get into like the different type of routines that we can do and how we kind of plan to implement them and kind of keep each other accountable. But first, what's your wellness win for the week?
Okay, y'all. So wellness win, Shireen, one of the things I want to talk about was like better managing my time. And so I know we talked about that before earlier this year. And so I want to value my time by better managing my time. And that's going to happen with an efficient and effective routine. But we'll get into that. So my wellness win for the week, I'll go first again, was y'all in the U.S. Today is a national holiday called Thanksgiving. So it's typically a time where family fellowship, are grateful for one another, and they eat food, whatever that food might look like. Sometimes people say we all eating the same thing. Other people might have different things that they have on their menu. But y'all, today I had my first high raw meal during this national holiday in the U.S. called Thanksgiving. I did a pasta kind of like salad. So I had the heart of palmini noodles, like the angel hair noodles, which was really good. And then I took like a bag of coleslaw, like the shredded carrots, cabbage, what is it? Shredded carrots,
Carrots and
cabbage, and what's
cabbage,
the
yeah.
other thing? Isn't it one more thing? It's like three things: carrots, cabbage.
Sometimes you might see like little of the purple cabbage with the white cabbage and
Yes, that's
carrot.
probably what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I'll look at. I got video, so I'll post it. And so I did that, and then what I did was I marinated the bag of coleslaw with some chopped red onions and some cucumbers with some like cocoa aminos and some seasonings, and I let that sit for a while. And then I went and added the palmini noodles, some more seasonings, mixed it all up, and then I put some poppy seed dressing on it, some Brianna's poppy seed dressing. It was so good. So that was the highest rating on my plate, was that pasta salad. And then I had a green salad, which was like lettuce, spinach, cucumbers, and I did the blush wine vinaigrette on that one, and some sprouted pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds, salt and pepper. And then my dessert was like this apple nut mix, different nut mixes in there, and some cranberry type stuff. This almond butter, I think it was almond butter, like an almond nut butter, and then some fruit sauce. Oh my goodness, that was really good too. Now that got me like a 7.5, 8-ish ratings in the house.
Who's rating it? Your
My
family?
mom, my brother, my brother's dad, my granddaddy, my grandma, my aunt. But then I also was told that I needed to have a what do you call the thing? Like a rating chart type thing.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
so people know how to rate it. Like my dessert got great presentation. But my pasta, that blew it out the water. Like my brother only gave me a 9.5 just because he said I couldn't be perfect. My aunt gave it a 10. My granddaddy gave it a 15, I think.
Nice.
But he gave the apple, because he likes sweets. He gave the apple dessert like 22. My mom gave it a 7. The apple dessert a 7, because she said I didn't chop up the apples like small enough. It was like too chunky, and you know, cutting skills, let alone cooking skills. So it was all an experiment. But that was on the lower side. My grandma really loved it.
Was everybody's meal being rated?
No, it was just mine, because it was something different that I had. I was like, y'all try my stuff. Because you know, like some people, they would never try it if you didn't prepare. And then the fact that you make something different, it was more so like, you know, y'all want to try my pasta salad real quick, you know? Try my dessert. My granddad
try mine.
Right. And then my green salad was good, but it wasn't like nothing extraordinary. Mom was like, yes, that's refreshing. It was good. But they had like all the other real Thanksgiving
meals, typical meals.
Foods. Yeah, cooked foods, like your typical stuff. But none of mine was cooked. So it was really good. It was really good.
Okay.
So that was my wellness win for the week. Would be that meal of experimenting, and it turned out really good.
That's cool. And that everybody rated it high.
Right. What up, ball? Shoot.
I didn't hear any low ratings in the crew. So.
I mean, that 7 was kind of, I was like, Ma, I get a C.
And then
my mama gave me a C, and then Lo gave me like a 9.
But that was a C plus.
And I was like, oh, so now I got my 3.0 GPA back with the C and the A. It went back. I was like, okay, good.
Yeah, it was like a C plus, because you could have got like a 60.
Girl, I could have got even less than that, but I was just happy.
So it was pretty good.
And then my other cousin rated it too, and he gave it a 10. He was like, oh my God, that's good. That's real good. He was like, that's fire. That's fire. And he wouldn't give a rating. My brother was like, we need a rating. Can you please start? I was like, I should have had the cameras going.
Capture everything. Capture the whole fam.
So that was good. That's what I ate. It was really, really good. I wasn't sure if I was going to go cook food or low carb, high raw food, and I went that route. And I'm glad I did, because it was something different, and it didn't take that long. So it was cool. What's your wellness win, Shireen?
I don't know yet, but I just realized it's only like 7:30. You guys ate and had dessert, everything like
I'm in your time zone right now.
Oh, it's 8:30. Okay, so it's been a while. Okay, so you ate a while. Okay, I was like, damn, you guys did it all within.
We had to start yesterday. with prepping certain things.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
but
this
I was just talking
morning
about
just
the time
started
that
going
you
into
ate. I was just talking about the time that you ate. What's my wellness win? I mean, I went to an event yesterday. Um, what did I do before that? I don't know what I did before that. I think like earlier in the week. Oh, I am in planning mode. So on Monday, I had a friend come down to the studio, and Monday is supposed to be my days off.
mm-hmm.
So I think that's why I was really tired yesterday because I've been working. But we spent time just really starting to plan our 2025. And my head has been all into 2025 for the past couple weeks. And I feel like us just taking the time to sit and write out things that we want. And then yesterday, I also went to a branding event. Is just helping me compile different things to plan it out. And
Mm-hmm.
it just makes me feel like I'm going to be more organized for 2025. So a lot of the things that I've been doing is in prep for I met this is in prep for 2025, and I met somebody yesterday that I'd love to bring on the podcast. So it's the planning. I started talking to somebody else about planning um like an episode, right? So it's just my wellness win is just preparing for success, right? So it feels good.
I like it.
Mhm.
I like it. That's a good wellness win. Y'all, if you're joining us, if you're watching this live, or if you're catching the replay, please make sure you drop your wellness win. We want to celebrate you and we want you to acknowledge you in regards to this win. What's up? Reset with Nat.
What up, Natalie?
Yes. Oh, shoot. I did have people trying it out because I didn't want to eat by myself. When eating what they were eating, so I wanted them to try what I was eating. I ain't fixed plates or nothing. It was definitely a taste test. And then my grandma was like, "You're not gonna put a little more on my plate?" Sure. After she tried it, so that was pretty dope. Did we just got into it? We just got into it. We did our
Yeah.
check in. Our check in question was what, Shireen? What's something you
Um,
want to do to
one
improve your self care?
one self-care practice you would like to start. So feel free to drop that in the chat. Shoot and Nat. One
And anybody
self-care
else that might
practice
be
you would
feeling.
anybody, yeah, that you'd like to start.
Nope, that's it. We just checked in and then we gave our wellness win. So after you do your check-in question, go ahead and tap in and let us know what your wellness win is. Y'all, and while we are allowing people to give us their wellness win and respond to the check-in, do not forget to subscribe to both of our channels. If you're watching on Facebook, please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channels. All of the information is in the show notes. So please continue to support us and
Mhm.
vibe with us by showing us that support on our channels. Thank you. All right, you ready, Shreen?
Mhm.
So, how
Well,
do you create a routine? What is something that you think of when you are starting a routine? And y'all feel free if you're watching to tap in and talk with us in the chat. How do you create a routine, Shireen? What are some things that you
whew,
start to think about when you want to create a routine?
for me, actually, Giovanni, the build up. Okay, so they say that it takes 3 weeks to create a habit, 21 days, right? 3 weeks to create a
That's
habit,
what they say.
whoever they be.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, in that build up, it's like starting to do the things, like little things, and giving myself grace. And the last time I was saying, like, sometimes it's like not talking about what I'm doing, so I don't feel the pressure from outside sources. Like, I just want to make sure that I'm comfortable first. Um, I don't want to put extra pressure on myself because sometimes I feel like that puts a little bit extra pressure on myself. So for me, it's just finding a groove and starting to do something. So if it's like going to the gym, um, I just need to start going a couple of days. And it doesn't have to be on a specific day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's like get 3 days in because Monday I might not feel like it, or Wednesday I woke up late, so I don't feel like it. And I like to do certain things at certain times, and the gym is one. But
I like 90 days over 21 days for some reason. Like I feel
but
like 3 months really helps me feel like I've built in that consistency. I tried all the things. I found a groove. I found things that I like. The timing is right. So I think like a 90-day thing, like you really got into reps. Like you explored it, you thought about it, you started fitting it in, you're liking it. Now it's like a thing now, you know? That 21 day or just for that month. Sometimes I can do like a challenge for a month. And after that, I'm not as
but
you think?
I'm just thinking about starting. Like if I put the stress, for me, it might be different than for you. If I put I'm going to do a 90-day challenge. To me, that's too much pressure on me. Let me get to the 21 days before I start extending it. That's
No, I
just
just
for me.
make it a habit, not doing it for 21 days, just making it a habit for me. Like it'll be a real habit at 90 days versus 21. That's all I was saying. Not doing a
Oh,
challenge for 90 days.
yeah, but for me, it's that number that's putting the
Gotcha.
pressure on me, right? Me hearing 90 days is like, oh, forget it. I ain't even doing it because I ain't doing it for 3. I didn't even do it for 1 day yet. We're talking about 90 days. No, I'm already
That's
out.
kind of how people were talking about how raw. How long are you gonna do it for? I never put a number on it. I'm just doing it. It started with 3 days for us. I'm loving it. It's bringing opportunities. It's a
Yeah.
vibe. So I'm gonna keep at it. I don't know when. And I just ended up stopping at 220. I had no idea that I would even went 220 days, let alone 100, let alone 20. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like I understand the numbers.
And we're not talking about a challenge. We're talking about a change,
Habit,
right?
lifestyle.
Like
Mhm.
a routine that I want to implement. So I don't want to really put a target, like, like someone will be like, I'm trying to lose weight for that wedding, or
Oh yeah.
so for me, it's like, let me just get into the groove of doing it. That's why I don't talk about it, because then you get the, oh, well, how long are you doing? What's the challenge?
Yeah.
Back up and let me get comfortable first. I just want a routine. And one routine that I want to do, as I said, is like, you always talk about sleep hygiene, and I don't rest well. I don't need to be talking about the fact that I don't rest well for someone to be like, you doing it for 90 days? No, back up. Let me just get myself home at a decent time. There was a time before where I'm like, I have to be out of the studio by 9:30 or whatever the time was, by 10 o'clock. If I can consistently do that for 3 weeks, it's not even like stuck to 21 days. It's just like, I want that routine of not just getting home, but getting out, getting home, maybe eating if I haven't, taking my shower, and going in my bed, because I always fall asleep on the sofa and I do not sleep well. So I just want to do it before I put time on it.
I got you. Anybody out there, if you have a good sleep hygiene or sleep routine, drop it in the comments. Let us explore. I too want to do something a little bit different in regards to having a sleep routine. I think it'll be really dope. I know we talk about frequency music. I definitely enjoy those types of things, frequency music. But then I've also heard like putting essential oils on your pillow, having that magnesium bath at night,
That is so
helps
what I
with
want.
calming. And so like, I also thought it was like, I think it was called like, I think it was Kundalini yoga, which is really like a deep breathing type of yoga form that I looked into. I researched. I was like, I think I want to try that. I think I want to do that at night to really like start to relax my central nervous system and really get into a place where I can go lay down and get into like a good realm of sleep. So if there's anybody that has a good sleep routine or sleep hygiene routine, make sure you leave it in the comments, share, and help us identify some of those things. So I like that for you, Shireen, with the sleep hygiene. And I also agree with the numbers thing. I know sometimes when you have SMART goals and different things like that, the more specific for some people allows them to be able to, have certain action steps and be able to measure where they are, when others it's just doing the thing. And so I like that for you. And I like that how you are motivated and how you like to approach things. Congrats.
Or
Man,
unmotivated.
already doing the doggone thing with your wellness win. I didn't say anything when Shireen was talking, but yes, 4 times a week and you already started. That's the biggest thing, is go ahead and start. Don't wait, just start. A lot of times people say, well, I'm going to start next week. No, start now.
Start
and go ahead and
now.
start getting into the groove for yourself. If you believe that it's something you deserve and it's something that you want, go ahead and do it now. Don't delay. Start today. But yeah, just do it. So I'm proud of you. Congratulations. Let me see. I think when it comes to strength training is I have to find what I absolutely enjoy. Once I find out what works. So I did the Pilates bar one time, Shireen. I think I told you about it. And then I did put like a hyper lapse or time lapse video on the Pilates bar for strength training. I feel like this week coming up December 2nd through the 6th, I'm going to be doing a Own Your Day 5-day experience with Natasha, who's a physical therapist, and she does strength training and, helping with reducing pain for people 40 and up. And she was on the podcast. And so she's going to be doing that 15 minutes of mindful movement of strength training, whether it's free weights, resistance bands, stretching. And I am excited about it because then I get to do it. I get to engage in something that I know I want to improve on. I want to get more strength training in. And so being able to do those different exercises for 5 days, I'm going to find something in there that was probably going to be fun. And even if it's not fun, I'm going to be exposed to so many different things in 5 days, doing a different exercise for those 5 days that I'm going to be able to come right back to it and do those same things, And so then I can't say, oh, well, I can't do anything. Or I said I'm going to do strength training. Like I don't have to do a whole hour of strength training in the gym. I can do the 15 minutes from these videos that we're going to be doing on YouTube next week. And that's going to be it for a minute. And then if I want to try something else, I can keep exploring and trying different things. But at least I have something to go back to that I enjoyed, or I explored, I should say. I explored and hopefully find some enjoyment. So with the strength training, I'm really looking forward to that. And that's one of the reasons why I was down for it. And I think I joined her live one day and was just like, maybe you should do like a resistance band or strength training challenge or something like that. And she was like, oh, that sounds pretty good. And she was like, well, if we do that, why don't you come in on the plant-based and talk about some juices or some smoothies that people can make and, having at least one plant-based meal a day. I was like, let's get in the collab then. So I'm really excited about it because I really believe in strength training. And I understand like the older you get, the more you need to really make sure that you value your mobility. So I'm looking forward to it. That's something that I'm looking forward to seeing when I put it into my routine to create a routine for that strength training. I think that would be beneficial. So it's starting in the morning. Me and Spencer get our walks in the morning. I don't know about adding it in the morning too. I think that might be a possible evening thing. I don't know. I got to really figure that part out or start with the strength training in the morning like we're going to do and then go into the walk. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that in addition to for me, in addition to like whatever my routine is going to be for when I go to bed, and I used to put lavender on my pillow, on my cheeks, on my pillow. On my pillowcase.
How did that work for you?
I slept deeply. And when I have migraines, like today, I woke up with a migraine. But in the nighttime, I used to listen to, sometimes when I can't sleep, I use my sound or I listen to ocean sounds. I listen to the waves, right? But I also want to get back to a morning routine, which I don't have, and a couple of people that I've been a couple of people that I've been talking to have been talking about journaling. So I want to get back to journaling, spending some time just doing right now my manifestations in the morning. I actually want to
wait. When do you typically get in your journaling?
In the morning.
In the morning, okay.
Yeah,
with the manifestations.
But I actually want to get some of that in the evening. So I want some time for myself because they say what you think about right before you go to bed. Like right now, my sleep hygiene is bad. I fall asleep to TikTok. It is the last thing I do before I sleep. It's a bad habit, but I want to journal or like manifest, like write what I want, because then they say you go to bed and your subconsciousness is thinking about it and manifesting it. And that's, you wake up and you're doing that, right? So I want to bake it in there subconsciously before I go to sleep. So I really want to. One thing that actually Nat and I were talking about yesterday is just being mindful of what you're feeding yourself. And I don't think I'm feeding myself enough high frequency things, like the littlest thing. Because I think I'm so tired, I'm kind of analyzing where I am. Because I think I'm so tired, and I'm probably tired from the year, I'm not doing as much as I can. So I need to put more into me. Um, I need to pour more love into me, pour more affirmations into me to block things out. Right. And I want that to be a part of my go to bed and my rise.
I
So,
got you. I like
yeah.
that too. And not only block it out, but really have a what do you call it? A defense to the distractions, right? Because then they say your
Mhm.
feelings are a distraction. Didn't you say that? I think the other episode. I
Mhm.
absolutely like that. I agree with the affirmations. I think affirmations help with the mindset, and it helps you keep the right perspective, and it just keeps you gassed up and hyped up for the things that you know you want and that you're
Mhm.
believing to come. And so when you get so into the work and so into the efforts of pouring into these things, and then you're starting to think, okay, will it work? What is this the strategy that's going to, like, just do the things, just do it, and whatever happens happens. If it's just you, if it's just like whatever it's going to be, whatever outcome it happens, you have enough insight to be able to make that pivot or do something differently. But I really feel like we don't do enough to really pour into
Ourselves.
our confidence and our empowerment to just keep doing the things and loving ourselves and our why for what it is that we're doing, despite what other things kind of come about. And so I do believe creating a routine with affirmations and manifestations, and then doing the work to make sure that you truly believe and are going after those things wholeheartedly, I believe are just like very vital. And so I like that.
Another thing is, I think that it's so important for us to hear it from ourselves. So
Mm,
last year, one of the things that, like, whatever coaching program I was in, they had us put it on our recordings, and then I also have it on my mirror. But I also think, like, that part, because so many times throughout the year and when we're doing something, we look for validation outside of ourselves. And when we don't get it, we're kind of discouraged, right? So I think that I need to be feeding into myself. I need to hear my voice saying it over and over and over. The funny thing is, this year I did a photo shoot for my birthday. So I actually have a picture of myself on my phone. And my son is like, "Oh, mom, that's so conceited." I'm like, "No, I need to remind myself that I'm gorgeous. There's nobody telling me." And I asked my daughter, "Is this conceit?" And she's like, "Oh, it's a little." I'm like, "Nah, you guys got it wrong." I need to remind myself over and over and over and over and over and over that I am gorgeous. I need to remind myself that I love myself. I need to remind myself that there's nothing I cannot do. I need to remind myself that you got this. Like, I have clients calling me um eager and looking to me saying, "Oh, Shireen, you're coaching me. You're my producer. You're this, you're that." And I'm like, "Okay." And when I'm selling it, I'm like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that." And then they're like, "You're this, you're that." And I'm like, I need to remind myself who I am, right? And, like, I need to constantly have that positivity playing in my head, but it has to be my own voice. And I'll just tell a little story. Um, there was this kid that played basketball with my son, and he's so confident, like, so confident. Like, some people would consider it almost arrogant, right? And his mom and I were talking. I don't think those things are a bad thing. And his mom goes to me, "You know how he got so confident? Because when he was a kid, we were constantly telling him how great he was. So now he's out here, and the only people that are looking at him and thinking he's arrogant is the person who doesn't have the same confidence, right? And so I don't think this is conceited. I don't think that was a bad thing. It's like an example, but I need to feed it to myself. And even though I see Nat says I recorded a voice note to myself with a positive message that I used to as my wake up alarm. I stopped using it once my schedule changed, but thanks for the reminder. Exactly. I have a voice note of myself with my affirmations. And I think it's so important for my subconscious to hear me telling myself, because we constantly doubt ourselves and we constantly have limiting beliefs. And it's the words. Our body does not know the difference between when you're joking or you're not joking. And our subconscious just hears that. So I think it's so important for us to like feed ourselves with our voice. Yeah, as a reminder. That's where I'm at.
I like it. I think it's a good reminder. We've talked about it before. We've heard people utilize that. I'm glad that Nat remembered that. I was thinking over here, how can I do that for myself? And I thought about like Mario. And I don't know if I told you, but I know I put it in there. And we like had that live coaching session with Mario on IG. And he was like, well, what's your why? Like, why are you doing these things? And then, like I started getting into it. And I feel like I don't get enough, like I don't talk about it enough until people ask me like, why this, why are you doing the things that you're doing, why are they so important, why is that target audience so important to you, what's your end goal, what's your mission, what's your vision? And I think being able to have that and listen to that and have that on repeat, it gives you that determination, that fire, that grit, that grind, that hustle to say, I'm going after something because this is bigger than me, and this is not just for me, this is for the world, this is for my impact. And so that is what resonated with me when you're talking about like leaving that voice note of affirmations, or leaving that good manifestation, or just hearing your voice say those positive things that you need to hear to feed off of, to move yourself forward. Because it's so easy to allow other people's voices to get in, but your voice should be louder than anyone else's. In addition to that, it was something else that you said. It was it was something else you
But
said.
the one thing I'm just going to correct is it's not even that other people's voices. It's the limiting voice. I'm referring to the limiting voices within ourselves.
It could be, but I'm saying you check for other people for validation sometimes. Like even when you asked your daughter
Mhm.
about the picture, does this seem conceited? Like it wasn't
Oh,
that
I
her
was,
voice trumped yours. You just was asking or checking. And sometimes when other people say certain things, it kind of make you like, well, is it? Like, wait a minute, hold on, let me think about
yeah,
it. You
and
said it.
honestly, I didn't feel that way when I was like, I just wanted to hear her opinion. I did not even think that at all. So it
Good.
wasn't a question for that particular. It wasn't a question for validation. But I am actually, besides I mean, like I do think that sometimes we look outside of ourselves for validation. But I think even more so, before we look outside of self for validation, it's because we have self-doubt. And that's why I'm saying it needs to be louder. Our positivity needs to be louder from a subconscious level to a conscious level to eliminate the self-doubt. Because before you go and ask somebody a question, it's because you are having limited beliefs within yourself before you even go out. When I say, hey, Giovanni, how do you think I do? That question, if you say, Shereen, how would you think of this? Well, what do you think? Because there's a limited something there that we needed to double check with somebody else. Because if we were so 100 about it, we probably wouldn't even ask the question. And so that's
Agreed.
the part I'm trying to address. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And then that says, yes, because the negative voice speaks louder and stronger, especially when life is overwhelming.
Mhm.
And I think, and to add on to that, Nat, especially
Mhm.
when you're going down an uncharted path that you've never been before. And so it's not
Mhm.
something that has been proven or something that you've experienced. It's not familiar to you. So it's very uncomfortable, and it's an adventure. And so it's just kind of like, does this seem like I'm doing the right? Like, is this logical? Like, is this even
Mhm.
something that will help me get to what it is that I want to get to, type of thing? And so I think that's what resonates with me in regards to that too. In regards to that voice though. Nat, thank you for adding into that. and joining us in on this conversation. So we're talking about creating a routine. We're talking about I've heard sleep hygiene. So are you gonna, what does that look like for you, Shireen? For me, I know I want to get in a few magnesium baths throughout the week. I definitely want to try the essential oils on the pillow. And then I want to do the deep breathing exercises at night, whether it is that form of yoga or just the deep breathing prior to that's what kind of it would look like for me in regards to creating that routine for sleep hygiene. What about you?
I think that if I can pick one night out of the week as a spa night, right? And that spa night will give me the bath, because normally it's like you turn it, get in there, do what I got to do, and get on out. So if I could give myself a spa night, that spa night will give me the soak. That spa night will give me more than the average night. Like maybe that's the spa night where I have, while I'm soaking, I have certain frequencies playing or soft music playing, and maybe I'm making a drink, and I'm not talking alcohol, just something to like cleanse me, or something like that. Like I'm making a night out of it. And if my night is a Sunday night, or my night is one night a week, I think I need to give myself a spa night. And then back to some of the things that you mentioned. Like
I
I
like
said,
the one spa night. I think that's really dope until you start to be able to figure out how that aligns, what all goes into it, what it looked like for you to do, and then start chunking in how many of those spa nights every night that you do. I like that.
yeah, because I don't think I'll have the energy to do that frequently.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I won't have the patience to like run a bath frequently. So I do think like one night of the week can be a special for me in that sense. But when it comes to so that's like, sure, creating an occasion for myself. Um, but then the, oh, and I think I want to try ashwagandha, maybe that same night, because then that will give me my deep extra sleep, between the magnesium bath, the salt bath, and like the ashwagandha and some lavender on my pillowcase and some sounds. I might not wake up until noon.
And that's a
But
good thing. You
that will
said not feeling
really,
guilty about getting into sleep, especially when you know you
yeah,
haven't been sleeping that well and you're getting that one night to really just relax and sleep. I
get it
think
in, get that
just
sleep in.
fine. Yeah, I
Hmm.
think you'd be just fine. I like it. I like the one night. I was thinking about when you were saying it, like how often. I'm thinking, it would be good to get it in the days that I do strength training. I think that's a beautiful way to tell my body I love you too, like for
Yeah,
overextending it and moving it the way you do. And I know like magnesium is great for like recovery, to the
yeah.
body and stuff like that. So I was thinking, okay, well, when I get strength training in, that might need to be the time to get the bath in. And I know there's this just talking on spa night, and we'll move from this part. The steamers, like I tried out a steamer before. You know how like you get the block that has the steamer, you put it in the shower and it helps
Oh,
create like
yeah,
this.
girl. We used to
I
sell
tried
it
one
on
and
Black
it was
Trip.
whack. I was like, okay,
Hmm.
this is not what I thought it was going to be. I
It's
want something a
nice.
little bit better. So even in the shower, I still
Hmm.
get that spa vibe,
It's
of
nice.
feeling good
Hmm.
and the essential oils, just the smells just on and flowing. And I just like that. And then I was even thinking about too, is that the time I want to hear my voice, in regards to the
Mm.
affirmations while I'm in
Eating
the
into,
shower. So,
I love
yes,
it. I love
I
it. I
do.
think we
So
need a
that way
spa
all the
night this
doubt,
weekend.
limiting beliefs can just go straight into the drain,
Hmm.
as I take that shower or let that water out of the bath because I'm
Yeah,
listening
just
to myself
drains
and
out.
hearing my voice. So
I
I think that's
love
what I
it.
was thinking about adding. So that sounds good. So it's not like we got an idea of what to kind of
Hmm.
go about in regards to our sleep hygiene. So I think that's really good.
Hmm.
And then what was the other thing that
For
you
me,
said?
it's my rising. Like, how do I want to wake up? I don't really wake up I wake up naturally, but unless have something I need to do. But I want to wake up. I said this before, I want to wake up earlier. So in order to wake up earlier, I got to go to bed earlier, right? I want to wake up at 5. Um, Even if there's 1 or 2 days that I do not wake up at 5, I want 5 to be my regular time of waking up. And between the 5 and 6 o'clock hour, I find time to do all the things that pour into me. That's my journaling, that's my manifestation, that's my prayers. That's between 5 and 6, because if I need to exercise, it's going to happen between 6 and 7. So, and even between 5 and 6, sometimes I just need to wake up, and it takes me about a half an hour to get up. Although we talked about Mel Robbins, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up. uh, I don't know where that will be, but I want, even if it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 journal, I want to wake up um, and write in my book, and just, and when we go back to the sleep time, I want to write in my book before I go to bed. So I want those things to become
Part of
a
your routine.
part of the routine. And it will also allow me to, I was looking at all the ebooks that in Donnie's class, like throughout the year, that they had us reading that I did not finish, whether I got to chapter 5 or I got to chapter 7 or
Oh,
whatever.
the audiobooks.
Yeah, the audiobooks,
Okay,
right?
I thought you said the ebooks. I was like, what
I
ebook?
did. Audiobooks, ebooks is all the
Oh,
same,
I was like, what
right?
ebooks?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all the same. The audibles, right? They're all the same. Um, Going back and listening to some of those. I think you always, either you or Nat always refer to Atomic Habits. I think she does. Do you do it? Do you? Yes.
It's probably her. I'm gonna be
Okay, so
reading
she
it
always
though
talks
in
about
about
that.
4 weeks. Yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
read a few chapters of it and I'm like, oh my God, this is good.
Mm-hmm. But there's a lot, and I see um, a lot of people referring to a lot of the books that were in that book that we would look at. In the new year, I want to get back into Donnie's community, but also at the social club where I'm a co-founder, they have a bunch of books, and I need to send an email to somebody out there to say, hey, I want to be able to, because I was looking at some of the books, I want to be able to read some of those books, but I want to get back into reading um, more. So I think changing up how I work is going to allow me to be more productive. And those are all the things I'm planning. And right before, I'll just say one more thing, and then I'll take a break from talking. But right before I jump on this call, I got this invite, just like a somebody wanted to introduce themselves to me. So they messaged me on LinkedIn. They seen me on a couple of calls, and they messaged me just to say what up. And they told me that they're starting a master class. And I actually brought up our accountability group, because their master class is just a handful of like 7 people, men and women, of all walks with different experiences that can bring knowledge and feed into each other to help us extend our network and to get further out. And I think, in order for 2025 to be extremely financially successful, these things need to be in place where I feed into me, other people from different walks feed into me, and I feed into them. The network, it needs to be extremely intentional. And somebody said to me this week that they have a handful of friends, and all their friends are powerhouses. And that word is like in my head. And I'm like, she's like, no, she said heavy hitters. And I'm like, you know what? It is time for me to stand up. I am not even being the top of top. I'm going to talk about over the next few weeks, my mistakes that I've made this year, or, I'm a villain in somebody's story. I know who's too, but but that's not who I am, and some of it's because I'm tired. So I need to put the right tools in place for my schedule so I can be a powerhouse, or I can be, what was the other words I just used? There was another word that she said that I used. Whatever it is, so that I can be, somebody speaks about me or I speak about me like, yeah, I'm a heavy hitter.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you heard it. You saw my lips, heavy hitter.
No, no, I
Oh,
didn't.
okay.
No.
She said they're heavy hitters. I didn't
Yeah,
realize I was on
mute.
on
Yeah.
mute. but a heavy hitter. I like that. And then I'm also glad that you brought in like work. CEO coach Matt has this routine builder. It's like it's a business pro worksheet, I think is what he calls it. And it's like a routine builder in there. And it's like a spreadsheet on steroids. And I really want to be able to take my time to really go inside and work those worksheets to be able to find my routine so I better manage my time. Not just professionally, when it comes to like the entrepreneurship side, but also like in my personal life, like we just talked about, like a personal goal, and then like professionally where we want to go and how we want to see a routine put in place for us to be able to improve in these areas and show up for ourselves the way we know we deserve to show up. And so I really am looking forward to diving deeper into that routine builder, identifying goals, figuring out the different prices, and then the goals of hitting those marks, and the type of series I want to have and what type of content I want to put out. Like having a structured plan, and then knowing when I'm going to do the things that I said I need to get done in order to see those things happen, I think is going to be very, very beneficial. And so I think utilizing that tool and creating time to implement, reflect, and kind of meet and go over that and make it realistic, I think will be ideal for me. And so it's one thing to have it, and to understand how it's supposed to be used and see it. It's another thing to apply the learnings and to really make it work for me and then do the things. So I think that's what I'll do in regards to that. Night reset with Nat. Thank you for being a part of our chat and our community, Nat. We appreciate you.
Do you know the types of content that you want to put out there?
No, and I think about it differently. And I think we talked about it another day too. It's just like what will resonate better with people and hook them in and give them, what it is that they need, and then show up, in the way that I would want to, with a, call to action or some form of value. And so that is something that I will continue to reflect on. I've gotten ideas. I can reflect on what I have done before and what has converted for me. And the types of content that was out there, and then just really pouring into a platform, but also knowing how other things align, but most importantly, getting outside. We keep talking about that, but doing those in-person events and, starting my solo episodes up again and having different, topics that I'm talking about, and see which ones really convert, pick up, momentum and views, and see what people would even want to hear in person. So it's just embracing the journey, but knowing which direction I'm going in and doing those things as a part of it. But I feel like also, Shireen, there's so much to be like having a podcast for over a year now, and it's kind of like, now that you have all of this content, there's so much more repurposing that can be done with the content that's already out. And I know you, as someone who helps people start their podcast, already know it's just get the content out there. And you once you get the content out there, there's plenty that you can do with the content that's already out there. Even though you're still thinking about the content that's to come, and it's a lot like, are you looking back at what you have to repurpose that and turn it into a blog, and then turn it into a snippet of a episode, that's smaller than that, and then now, is this a reel, is this a carousel? So it's just so much you can do with the content once you get it out there to transform it into something differently, whether you start off as a blogger, a podcaster, or it's just so many different things that you can do. And it's like, where do you start? You start by first identifying what matters most to you right now and what routine can be put in place that best aligns with what you can do. And then once you get good at doing those things, then you can start adding on everything. You don't have to do everything all at one time, because it's still there and it still has opportunity to get out there. And some form of it is already out there. But a lot of people don't even know it's out there just quite yet. And so you just keep doing the things that, set your soul on fire. Stuff that you're passionate about, just being you, because you are your brand. And I think it's going to improve and get better the more you keep putting in the works, and the more you continue to believe in yourself and strive towards those goals that you set. So I think it was a good combo.
But
Go
hold
ahead.
on, but wait. I think that I like that you just said do one thing at a time because it's something we talked about offline, but we didn't talk about here. So to be very specific, because we essentially have about 32 to 33 days left in the year of 2024.
Mm.
Um, let's implement one thing, start one of the things. If we start more, that's fine, but I want to eliminate any form of pressure. Maybe that's my way of eliminating. I can't say I'm going to do 10 things. I'm not going to do one of them. If I say 10, if I say three,
And
if
I'll
I
just
say
stay stuck. I need more clarity on where I'm supposed to go, what I'm supposed to do.
exactly. Exactly. So now that you got the transparency of us, um, I say let's implement one thing and let's run the play for a couple of weeks and then feel good about it or reflect upon it and then say, okay, what's the next thing? So that when all I can think about is the new year. Like I feel like I'm in that timeline. Today feels like Friday. It's only Thursday. Yesterday felt like Friday. So I know I'm ahead. So it's like let's implement those things because January is going to come and be like, well, what's your changes? What's your lifestyle change? Be like, well, we implemented that shit back on November the 28th. Like or the planning started before this date. So what's the one thing we want to implement? And it doesn't have to be the same. Um, I'm wondering if it should be the spa day for me or if it should be journaling before I go to bed or if it should just be like um, hearing something positive. I think I really need the something positive. Um, and that can play in the morning, noon, and night. Yeah. What do you think you might be the one thing you might implement?
I love the affirmation thing, like even talking to Kwame and coming up with some prompts or something like that. So I know exactly what I need to be saying to myself because it's usually not asking me, it's when somebody else asks me and they don't really know who I am, what I do, why I do what I do. And I don't say that enough. So I don't know if it's creating some type of prompt so I'll know what I'm like who I'm responding to or what I'm saying because some of the things when I've said it before haven't been recorded. So I think that would help me with reducing the limiting beliefs and keep my drive moving forward towards the things that I want to do. So I'm thinking
Mhm.
about the self voice note, like the self
Yeah,
recorded
I
voice
like
note
that.
might be that one thing I really like that when it comes to my personal life. My entrepreneurship journey, I think it's just if I'm going to do something, just go for it. So, like this group coaching thing, I'm just going to go for it because I'm just going
Yeah.
to give people that offer and just talk about it, tell them about it, and let's just go do it. And whether it's 2 people, 3 people, 10 people, 50 people, I want us to be doing it because that's what I'm excited about doing. And so I want to get in the groove of doing and not just waiting or just doing it with myself. So I want to keep inviting people onto the journey and inviting people to lock in with me, read a book, do the things of prioritizing our wellness by, focusing on one thing, having discussion and meeting that one time out the week to just say, hey, I'm showing up for me. And this is what I got out of the book. This is what I'm working on. This is a bad
Mhm.
habit that I want to let go of. And this is how I'm gonna show up for myself. Like I want to keep doing those things and I want to do it by myself. I want to do it with other people. That's where the empowerment vibes really flow. So wellness wise, I want to do more things with the people, whether it's group coaching for a month, like an experience with that, or it's, doing a live event, one or the other.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go with the group coaching first because that can happen virtually and I don't need like space, the sponsors, all the other things right now, but working towards those things is what I'll be working. So that's my thing. The affirmations, voice note, and then the and or I really like the sleep hygiene thing we talked about, like with the oils, the deep breathing, that at night. But then entrepreneurship wise, doing the group coaching. And this is my first Black Friday. So I'm really excited about offering a 4-week group coaching experience immediately following the 5-day own your day experience. So it just leads right into it. And that last week will be the week going into the new year. And I think it's such a beautiful way to celebrate yourself for locking in and, just doing something for 4 weeks for you, reading Atomic Habits and changing some things, trying some different things. So I think it'll be beautiful. So I'm excited. Great.
I like the idea of just doing, because sometimes we get caught up in the
Waiting.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. So
When it's just you. Normally we're waiting on other people to show up when it's really just you showing up.
yeah, I think from a business aspect, the one thing I just want to do is just like tips. So I know how I want to record it, but I just need to record it. Just record a tip, and get it out. I just want to work differently next year. Yeah.
And those tips for you sound like solo episodes for me. 5 things for so and so, 5 things for so and so. And that'll just get me in the habit of really talking to my audience more and providing them with value, and then being able to see my lifestyle and the content that I post already on a regular basis would just add to it. And so I think it'll be dope. So just keep on the journey.
I think that's good. If you do the 5 things for this and 5 things for that, I think that would be good, because then you can clip it up and then those can be content, right?
Mm-hmm. As always, because that's what I was going a lot on anyway with my podcast episodes. We're clipping it up and doing some of those clips throughout the week. So yeah, I think it's going to make it a lot easier. And then of course that also goes into carousel. So what we already kind of talked about. So yeah, it'll be purposeful. That's good. All right, y'all. So go ahead and get ready to check us out, Shireen.
Oh, shoot.
We really appreciate y'all. Please do not forget to let us know, how do you create a routine, and what are some of those things that you want to create a new habit for, to have that routine put in place. How are you going to approach it? It's not supposed to be perfect. I know we talked about it the other week when I said, give yourself 3 different ways of how you want it to do something, and try the first thing and see how it works. If it didn't work, you already got a second thing in mind, a third thing in mind in regards to a strategy or a way to approach this new habit, this new thing. So you're giving yourself grace, and you're giving yourself attempts to figure out how this might work for you or look for you. And I think that is going to be beneficial when creating this new routine while you're adopting a new habit. As well as habit stacking. And that's a beautiful thing, just knowing when you're going to plug this in your day and figuring that out too. So.
Okay, I got it.
All right.
I don't got it.
Okay.
So is everybody like done eating for the night, or people might just sneak down to the kitchen and get another bite?
Well, actually, I don't know. Everybody might be done. I think everybody might be done. We were starting to like put food away, like bag up food and getting ready to do dishes right before I got on. I was like, oh, well, I gotta go live. It was like, so I'll be back though.
Good luck with the cleaning. Let me know when the water goes off.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Shrink, keep talking. The water's still running.
No. I mean, because I really want it to be done so we can really rest. To get some good rest in, because I haven't had really good rest just quite yet, especially after the trip. Even my mom like took a nap and she was like, and I'm still tired. I was like, we got to get rested before we turn around and do this thing again. So hopefully it doesn't take too long to get everything done, to really just sleep good tonight.
All right.
You got it? What we got?
We got 2. I think we actually had rest earlier, but I didn't pick it up when it flew out. Okay. So we have change. Life has no remote. Get up and change it yourself. And then today. Rest in today.
What did that say? I started today.
That's what I said. I think we had rest, but I didn't pick it up. But this one says, resting today is an investment in your productivity tomorrow. And just with that, I'm seeing a lot. So change today, people. Change today. Life has no remote. Just get up and make that change yourself. And resting today is an investment in your productivity tomorrow. A lot of people are sending out, I'm getting a lot of emails from businesses saying, we're shutting down for the year. We're shutting down for the year. We're shutting down for the year. And someone said to me, maybe I need to shut down for the year. And I can't really, because I have a client that's like booking me out through December. But just consciously making a time to close up the studio is what's going to be needed, even if it's not necessarily closed, but I take a couple of days to rest. Yeah. So I think resting is good. Yeah.
I like it. Change today. Today
Change
can
today.
always be something new that you want to embrace. And then I also love change. Change doesn't have to be a bad thing. And sometimes because it's so unfamiliar and people are accustomed to doing things or, having like a routine in place already, change is a little bit harder to approach. And I like that. So change today and get your rest.
And I put away the cards and then I opened it, and guess what was the first one that flew out? Rest. And it says rest does not equal laziness. She didn't hear me. I'm going to say it one more time. So I put the cards away and I opened it back up, and rest was the one that flew out on the top there. And it said, yeah, Ashu, you're right. The importance of rest. This says rest does not equal laziness.
Come through. Gotta let some people know.
Yeah, I think it's even letting me know, girl.
That's the permission that some people need. Because they automatically are trained to think that because they're getting this rest or they're still laying down and they're not doing all of these productive things, that it is laziness. I have some family members that know that that think like that sometimes, or just one. I think their cousin came to mind.
Just one that might be roaming in the room.
He's not just Spencer here, but no, it's one who automatically yes, and it's automatic to thinking he like being lazy and stuff like that. So yeah, I can see that. Exactly. Right, but y'all, we really appreciate you vibing with us and coming through, especially if you are in the U.S. and this is a national holiday for you to
in any spot, because I'm not in the U.S. or any spot.
So we really appreciate that.
And we will be here next week, Thursday, again. Just look out for us, and have yourself a wonderful weekend. I think tomorrow's off, so you guys must have a long weekend. Giovanni's chit-chatting with the fam, but have a lovely weekend, folks.
We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for vibing with us.
See ya.
Check the show notes for some value later.
For sure. Hit end, Giovanni. Hit end.